Hello, it's me, your generic modern e-scientist. Today I have come to tell you about how much I fucking love science. Although I work as a minimum wage employee at McDonald's flipping burgers for the penis clown, in my spare time I love to look up science in the internet and put my knowledge to good use by telling other people they are wrong and reciting my favorite facts I learned from the science subreddit. Everything I learned about science I learned from expert scientists who, unlike every other type of person in a position of authority, have literally no incentive to lie for financial or political gain. So, even though I have not actually done any of my own research nor tried to replicate their findings, you can still trust my word, since it comes from experts. I love scientists because they are unbiased and smart, except all those ones from before 50 years ago who believed in stuff that is not socially acceptable to speak about in the modern year, like lobotomies and eugenics. Speaking of eugenics, I will always denounce that evil practice, the idea of creating superior individuals by killing those with negative traits and breeding those with desirable traits is pure pseudoscience. Now let me tell you about the theory of evolution. It's one of my favorite theories, since it helps explain why animals are the best equipped for their environment. I also love it, since I can own Christ cucks with it, because the probability of single-cell organisms turning into complex organisms with hundreds of interconnected working organs via quintillions of positive mutations that don't result in sterility over millions of years is much more believable than an intelligent being creating a complex creature. I also love science that works with the artificial, such as AI, robotics, and cybernetics. I love the idea of being able to create a complex machine. We can even probably one day give it a mind of its own, creating a new life form too. Some people criticize me for targeting Christianity specifically, but that's because Christians are the most annoying religious people. Hindus, Buddhists, and Muslims are much less intrusive about their religion. Though admittedly I never visited India, China, or the Middle East, but I am sure it's no different over there. Speaking of religion, can you believe we used to live in an era where a small group controlled the belief system in which people lived their lives by, and would condemn and shame those who disagreed with it? I am so glad that we don't live in those dark ages anymore. Sometimes I will have blue-collar workers try to tell me, when I am wrong about a subject, they tell me they have worked in their field for over a decade and that through personal experience in the job have found a certain claim being made in the science subreddit or article from a science website is wrong, to which I will tell them that the claim was made by experts, and they only think it's wrong because they are uneducated and also probably unintelligent as well, and that their opinion is irrelevant because of that, and mine is worth more, since I got a bachelor's degree in art from college. There are some scientists I don't like, particularly Nazi scientists, since they were not ethical, and I would never use anything made by them or through their discoveries. Hold in a minute, let me connect to Wi-Fi so I can send conspiracy theorists a video of the moon landing. But back to what I was saying, I much prefer scientists that have done stuff for the good of humanity, ones like John Money who did great work for the advancement of LGBTQ+ research, as opposed to someone unethical like Joseph Mengele. One other thing I like to do is bash people who believe in the paranormal and cryptids, and the pseudoscientists that investigate them, like the Kraken or will-o'-the-wisp. Can you imagine believing in millennia-old superstitions someone a few thousand years ago made up for no reason that aren't real? But back in the positives of science, science let us discover new animal species like the giant squid, and cool-looking natural phenomenon like how methane gases over a swamp create what looks like floating white orbs. Isn't that cool that science let us discover something we didn't know about before? Well, I better get going. I don't want to miss getting some karma in Reddit by sharing my scientific knowledge with other people who love science as much as I do. See you all later, uneducated losers.